What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. So tonight we're gonna come back and this is gonna be a short video that we're gonna review, and it comes off the heels off of a comment that I believe Will IAM made on the Sway podcast about JayZ. So he basically started a debate about Black Thought versus JayZ, saying that Black Thought was a trillion times better than JayZ. Now, as far as a lyricist is concerned, I actually believe that Black Thought is better. But he went a little bit deeper with it. That brings up an interesting point about what we discussed previously in a couple of podcasts ago about JayZ's absence in hip hop. And is there a void because of that? Because people, they need to be reminded of how great JayZ really is. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to play According to Hip Hop. Shout out to Mike D from According to Hip Hop. It's a short video. We're going to do what we do. We're going to stop and start and speak on some points he makes. And we're going to get your take on it about JayZ versus Black Thought. I think it's a very interesting debate. I think they're both legendary GOAT MCs in their own right. I think Black Thought, as far as a lyricist is concerned, I think he's arguably the greatest lyricist of all time. Definitely top three. I think I have him, Nas, and Royce the 5'9" as my greatest lyricist of all time. Eminem is probably in that top five, and I probably have JayZ around that mark too. You have other people in there too. You got Lupe Fiasco. You got who else could be in that list? You got a few in there. You know what I mean? But I do think that Black Thought is one of the greatest lyricists of all time. But as I digress, let's get to the video and see what he's talking about this comment by Will IAM about Black Thought versus JayZ. Very interesting commentary. Talk about. Let's go.
Will IAM got on Sway's show and he said that Black Thought's a trillion times better of an MC than JayZ, and the internet's going crazy about it. One of the reasons that he mentioned was the fact that he said that JayZ regurgitates things that he's already said, and including things that other rappers have already said. And whenever he hears Black Thought on the mic, he's hearing something new. He's hearing a new execution, and he's like, yo, I never thought certain things could be said in that way, or you could split that word in that way and do this flow in that way. I'm paraphrasing.
All right, so I want to stop it there. So this is an old narrative about the I'm a biter, not a writer from JayZ. And JayZ has stolen bars from various rappers. But at the same time, JayZ has produced bars that other rappers have bit off of. You know what I mean? All the way from, various Southern rappers. T.I. has bit JayZ. Lil Wayne has stole raps and bars from JayZ. I mean, the list goes on. So to me, that's not like a big deal. That's kind of like, I don't know. It's a little bit of a straw man argument in my opinion, to basically lift up Black Thought because he raps in a different way and he's more of a technical rapper and more creative lyrically than JayZ. JayZ is, in my opinion, I think I'm not going to say a trillion times, but I think he is a solid 2 notches above Black Thought as a pure song maker and a hit maker and a guy that can fulfill multiple audiences, including the main audience that Black Thought appeals to, which is more the backpack crowd, which is more the underground crowd. JayZ can play that crowd and wow them as well, like he did on Black Album. You know what I mean? Like he did on Blueprint. So I kind of don't like that argument. And JayZ got criticized, the I'm a biter, I'm a writer, how many rhymes, Biggie's rhymes gonna come out your fat lips. Yeah. But So what? Everybody does it. Nas has stolen people's lines too. I mean, if you make it a hot song and you make it work within the context of a rap lyrical style, so be it. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's such a big deal. And to compare it to Black Thought, to saying he says things in a different way, he does different ways positioning, is basically he's saying he's a better technical rapper, which I agree with. I agree with that. That's all you had to say. But to use JayZ has regurgitated raps before, I think that's a little bit of a goalpost shift right there. Because yeah, so what? He's the better song maker, and if he makes better songs than you, then what's really, if it's good to my, if the song is better and I'm vibing to that song better than your songs, I'll let it ride. It's not like he's, stealing people's rhymes bar for bar. You know what I mean? It's not like somebody wrote for him like Drake. So, I'm not too big on that. I think that's a little bit of a stretch of an argument from Will IAM.
All right, I'm gonna say this. First of all, it adds validity to my video that I did when I was saying, does JayZ's inactivity hurt his legacy with younger listeners? Not to say Will I Am's a younger listener, but I do think that a lot of this thinking and the mindset that Black Thought is just a better MC than JayZ a trillion times, to use Will I Am's words, is because JayZ is inactive and hasn't put out records. And we see somebody like a Black Thought, who was around, during JayZ's heyday in the mid to early 90s, continuously get better and get better in this era. And really, in my personal opinion, is the most feared MC on the mic, period. Whether we talking about a cypher, whether we talking about a song or whatever.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it there. So there are two things here he's talking about. He's talking about what we talked about in our last JayZ video that I did a couple of blogs ago. That does JayZ need to make a comeback to hip hop to remind people of his greatness, remind people that he is that guy on the mic? I kind of do agree with that. I think Jay hasn't been active because I don't think Jay has the itch to rap. You know what I mean? He doesn't have anything to say right now. But I got a feeling that's going to change. I see him being more active on the stage, coming back doing Beyonce's tour, doing guest appearances on there. There are rumors he has been sent tracks by people. You know what I mean? Like the clips. Rumors he's going to be doing the Super Bowl. So I think that's going to change. But I do believe that in this rap era of volume, this is the volume rap era, the microwave volume era. When it pertains to the mainstream of hip hop, you need to keep working. You need to put something out. You need to do features. You need to do even Lucy songs or what have you to remind people that you're around. You know what I mean? And people do respect volume more than actual quality. But see, Jay's went from the classic era. He's only going to rap if he has something to say. He's not just going to rap just to put a song or a feature on the radio to get a couple of streams up. Jay's beyond that. He's a multi-billionaire. He doesn't need that. But I do think there is something to that, because if you look at it, all the legacy artists, Nas, Wu, Busta Rhymes, Jadakiss and the Lox, Black Thought is one of those. A lot of those 90s legacy artists, even though it's not mainstream, they're rapping still. Black Thought, I don't know when was the last Black Thought. I know he did that EP series with, I think, Ninth Wonder. But Black Thought's been popping up on features, and he's been crushing features too. I do think there is something to that, where even the legacy artists need to show they still got it on the mic. And Black Thought definitely shows up. Now, is he the most feared MC in the game right now? That's up for debate, because I think Kendrick Lamar is the most feared MC in the game right now. And you know what? Actually, hold that thought, because we're going to get back to that about some upcoming work from Black Thought might be coming on later on. But he's one of the top lyricists in the game. And the one thing is, Black Thought does show up, even if it's just a feature and may not be an album or EP per se.
Black Thought is a beast, and nobody really wants to stand next to Black Thought and go rhyme for rhyme, like if we're just talking about some rap shit. So for Will IAM to say that about Black Thought, I don't think is a crazy ideal, but I do want to be I want to be real here. I think if we're talking about end to end, JayZ's career and his versatility and everything that he's brought to the table as an overall artist, album maker, you know, hit songs, B-side songs, and things of that nature, like it puts him in a different class, in my personal opinion, as an overall artist. But if we're talking about an MC today and who is the best MC between the two today, I can see how someone could say a Black Thought, because again, Black Thought works on the craft. I don't know.
And again, I don't think that's a stretch to say Black Thought is a better lyricist than JayZ. As an overall artist, I think still today, Black Thought can't do what JayZ does as far as making an impact single that's going to capture, you know, multiple audiences and multiple demographics of hip hop culture. Black Thought has been a great MC. Don't get it twisted. He's a legend in his own right. And I'm not trying to disrespect Black Thought. I think he's in my top 25 rappers of all time. JayZ is either number one or number two. I mean, he can do things and is more versatile as a song maker, as an album maker, as Mike was saying, as making impact records for the culture than Black Thought is. But if we're going to say today, Black Thought and JayZ was on one track, I absolutely think Black Thought's going to win that battle. Black Thought will have the better verse today. The only two other rappers, well, three other rappers I could think would have a better verse than out-rap Black Thought on one track, and that would be Nas, and that would be Kendrick Lamar. But it's interesting, as a segue, it is rumored that Nas, Kendrick Lamar, and Black Thought may be showing up on the Nas and DJ Premier album. So hold that thought for a little. And if that happens, that could be the most talked about song, hip hop song of this year. Because those right now, and I'll put it out right now, I think are the three best lyricists in this game. You got Kendrick Lamar, you got Black Thought, you got Nas. Bar for bar, I think nobody can fuck with that three right now. Now, I know you're saying Eminem. In my opinion, Eminem has lost his fastball a little bit. I think Eminem is still top 10 lyrically, but I think he's lost a little bit of the fastball. I think Jid is in this conversation. You know what I mean? I think, I don't know who else I would say right now. I mean, you would have to probably say J. Cole, you know, is still around because he's still crushing features. But I think that's the big three lyrics-wise right now with what they're doing. So to have those three on a song would be epic. And on top of that, a DJ Premier beat. But I digress from the JayZ conversation. I will say this. I think that Will is reaching by saying Black Thought is a trillion times better than JayZ. If you want to say, you know, I think it's more he was trying to big up Black Thought and get his name out there. I think he was trying to do Black Thought a solid, which respect to that, because Black Thought is a legend in his own right. But what I will say is it's a little bit reachy to say a trillion times better. You know what I mean? But if we're going to say on one track today, I do think that Black Thought will have the better verse than JayZ easily. You know what I mean? And even if JayZ's in his prime, I think Black Thought would have the best verse. Now, other artists like Nas and Kendrick Lamar, we'll see. But I do think Black Thought would have the better verse over JayZ. But JayZ is definitely better overall MC. I say overall MC as an artist.
Know if Jay works on MCing in the same way that he used to, but we know that Black Thought puts in that work. I don't totally agree with everything Will IAM saying, but I get it. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I want y'all to hit like and subscribe, and make sure y'all check into the Alfredo 2 review tonight at 6 o'clock, man. See you then. Yo, what's up? What's up, Mike D checking in?
All right. So we'll get out of that right there. But yeah, so there you have it. I think it's an interesting discussion, but I think the bigger discussion is, are people downplaying JayZ's legacy and downplaying JayZ's impact rap wise because they haven't heard him in a while? And I do think a little bit of that is going on. And I think in today's hip hop, you do need to keep your name out there, even if it's on a couple feature verses. You know what I mean? Because if you do look at it, the legacy artists, even though they may not be mainstream like that, like a Busta Rhymes, I mean, he pops up every now and then. They still doing features. I mean, Method Man is still killing it. You know what I mean? Memphis Bleak put out an album recently. You know what I mean? Unless you're really in that, really in the podcast world, like a Joe Buttons or a Fat Joe or a Nori, where you've moved to, I'm a podcast guy, I'm a hip hop media guy now. The vets, they're still putting in work. So I think it would help JayZ flex one more time on a verse like he did on God Did. You know, and then the conversation can come back and say, well, I don't know if Black Thought will destroy JayZ, because did you hear that verse he did on such and such? You know what I mean? So I do think there's something, a little bit of that, but I do think Black Thought was reaching a little bit. But overall, as an artist, I still go with JayZ. JayZ is still, if he's not 1A, he's 1B to Nas. I think Nas is my greatest of all time. I think JayZ is right behind him. But if you say JayZ is the greatest, I have no qualms to that. Because there's nothing I can say. I don't have a rebuttal to say, well, what did JayZ didn't do? You know what I mean? What's my rebuttal? What is it going to be? That the man got classics? That the man got, critical acclaim, awards? Does the man sell records? Does the man have #1 hits? I mean, he's got it all. You know what I mean? He's got the total package, and he didn't have to be a gimmick and sacrifice art to do it. I mean, that's GOAT shit right there. You know what I mean? Something that some artists of this generation can learn. So that's my stance on it. And what do you think? JayZ or Black Thought? And is Black Thought that much better, a trillion times better, as Will IAM said, than JayZ? What do y'all think about that? Tell me in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews. And we'll be back with some more content coming up shortly. There's a lot of hip hop to talk about. I'm trying to get some forums next week, trying to get Torture Talk on here, and also BLG, aka Bootleg Gang. We got a lot to talk about. In hip hop. This is one of the most exciting summers in rap I can remember in a long time. In the span of like a month, man, there's been a lot of hot hip hop music. Which side note, check out my Alfredo 2 hip hop review too. I just posted that a couple of days ago. Just posted Tyler the Creator's hip hop review too. Check that out on Hip Hop Roundtable Review. So with that, enjoy your evening. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will be back with more content shortly. All right, peace.